Hardspace Shipbreaker. This is a title by Blackbird Interactive. And you do what's in the title, break ships. At least in a unique salvaging type of way. This game recently entered early access on Steam, so I decided to sink my teeth into it, and I enjoyed what I got to try. This game is going to be my preview of what it's like so far. Initially, the game gives you a nice little tutorial. This gets you acquainted to flying in zero-G and ripping some simple ships apart, which I end up throwing stuff into the wrong hole at first. There's places to chuck objects you rip off. There's the furnace, reclamation, and a parts barge below. In this tutorial, you'll learn how to use your grapple, which is sort of like a Half-Life 2 gravity gun which you can drag and rip parts off of a ship if they're loose enough. It has this neat tether system to make moving things in space an easy point-and-click adventure, along with a little punt to shoot what you're dragging in the right direction. There's also the cutter, which is a laser, but you gotta be careful using it. It can overheat and set you on fire, and the laser can also ricochet off walls and certain materials and set things on fire as well, or set you on fire again. It's an overall fire hazard that you need to be careful with. The cutter also has a splitter head for cutting certain walls, though you need to pay attention on what you cut through because there may be a fuel tank behind that wall.
Air pressure level decreased.
And that would just be a bad time. Thankfully, the game has a scanner which shows you the ins and outs of a ship, along with structural weak points that are highlighted in yellow that might as well say, "Cut here, idiot!" But afterwards, you get kicked into the real game and are in charge of managing your health, oxygen, and fuel, along with your soul-crushing debt. I want to know what the hell this guy did to get a debt that big. Like, goddamn, did you get a $1 billion credit card and forget you had to pay it back after a coke snorting spree in Space Vegas? Either way, this game will have a proper story eventually and probably fill in those holes, but until then I'm going to fill them in with my imagination. To progress in the game, there's a few objectives. You have your overall debt, which is just a big number that goes up or down based on how well you salvage. And also your daily costs, which, well, geez, guess inflation in the future really got out of hand if that's the cost of living. Then there's Lynx points, which you get for salvaging key parts from a ship. They are used to purchase upgrades for your equipment. You can upgrade your suit, cutter, grapple, and splitter with them. And finally, certifications. Certifications are how you unlock the bigger ships with more stuff to salvage off of them. You have to achieve a few goals to pass them, and they will definitely require a few ships to complete them. These goals can vary from salvaging certain metals or objects from a ship, and honestly, I kind of like this idea of dissecting a loot pinata spaceship. It's not a walk in the park, though. You have to be careful with some things in the ship or else it'll go boom and ruin your day or yourself. Like, say, ripping up a computer panel would be easy enough, but you can electrocute yourself, and it will shock you and give you a little EMP thing which will leave you floating in space helpless for a few seconds. You also need to depressurize the vessel before you start taking it apart as well, or else it'll pop and destroy and damage contents inside. And those are just a few of the hazards of ship salvaging. There are some big money items to go for right away, like the thrusters and reactors. Those will be essential to get off a ship before you go for the smaller and less valuable parts. You only have 15 minutes in a day, so you need to plan your salvaging time accordingly. Also take into account refueling your fuel and oxygen. It's quite an intricate strategy game and very rewarding to pull off the big and valuable parts of a ship. Though I do feel like the daily upkeep can be a bit harsh, so if you decide to come back to a ship after getting a few key components, it can be a bit of a bad choice. Mainly because it feels like the majority of a ship goes for pennies compared to those key objects. So I guess again it's up to you to decide if you want to fully scrap a ship or just pick it of its valuables. Graphically speaking, it's very good looking, but the frame rate can tank while you're inside of a ship. But it's an early access game and I hope they can knock that out later. I also think the exterior of the ships can be a bit blocky looking, at least the starting ones. Eventually, you unlock rather intricate and complex ships, and of course the valuable parts inside of them. So you have a bit of this risk-reward system in the game. You can keep doing the small, easy, simple ships, or you could try a big, complex one and risk blowing yourself up if you cut a gas line. Either way, I feel like this game gets a little bit repetitive after a while with the day-to-day system. The game concept is neat, but I do see myself getting a bit tired of it after a while. If they can reward the player a bit more instead of just knocking down their massive debt and giving the occasional upgrade, I think there'd be a stellar way to keep folks hooked. But that's just my early access input. This is a unique gem and I can recommend trying it if you're looking for a new experience. I'll definitely give this a review when it's out, but it just recently came out on the early access, so that might be a while. Anyway, I think that'll do it for this preview. What do y'all think of Hardspace Shipbreaker? Maybe leave a comment below. If you enjoyed this preview, feel free to give me a like. If you want more videos like this, why not slap that subscribe button? This is Mr. B, and I've ended my shift for today. Bye-bye!